Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I am bringing you the new hero in Arena of Valor for the North American server, TEL'ANNAS, the marksman undead heroine. I just want to say off the bat, I'm having a lot of fun playing with this hero. The particular clip I'm going to show you guys is really going to illustrate her potential in team fights. I think she's a fantastic addition to the game. I think she's going to put Yorn on the back burner for a lot of marksmen out there, and she should be one of the top picks moving forward for all marksmen, maybe only Violet notwithstanding. TEL'ANNAS is an amazing poke champion with huge range, as you can see from her first skill, that very large purple circle that appears when she casts it. She can increase her own range at will, her attack speed, her movement speed. She debuffs enemy movement speed with her second skill, although the damage is quite low. And then her ult is pretty fantastic. It's got crowd control with a knockback stun, and it deals respectable damage, and it allows her to get up close and personal with enemies, trigger her ult, knock them back, and then escape out of the way. I think she's a really good hero overall. The only thing she's missing, like someone comparable in Yorn, is an escape. So that's why, for the most part, I'm choosing Flicker. I'm also going to try and test later on with the movement speed talent, but I think overall those two are the only viable options for her, because she needs a way to get out of danger. You could try Endure as well and toy around with that one, but it's a little bit more situational and not as effective overall unless her ult is off cooldown. But you can see from these clips, there's a lot of poke potential, and you basically just whittle them down until you can go in for the kill, or your teammates can go in for the kill. You'll end up either racking up a ton of kills or a ton of assists if you play safely, but also play with kind of a bottled aggression, because you need to be constantly chipping away at their health in the lane. Don't pay too much attention to the minions, but just chip, 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 and either go in for the finish on the kills, or have your teammates come in and secure them for you while you just distract them with all of that chip damage, as you'll see from a lot of these clips. Overall, with the build that I'm going to be doing throughout this play here and through most of my games, is offensive. I played around with the Gilded Greaves. That was a beautiful ult, by the way. But I didn't find that the Gilded Greaves were giving me enough. When I got CC'd, it was basically I would kill or get killed no matter what, and the Gilded Greaves weren't really helping me escape more often than not, so I didn't really feel their impact. You could go with something like Sonic Boots to allow you to trade more effectively with other marksmen, but I find that TEL'ANNAS can poke other marksmen with her superior range, aside from Yorn when he casts some of his skills and he gets that extra buff with his passive effect. But other than that, she can outpoke most other marksmen, Violet notwithstanding, and she has a more flexible kit because of the movement speed reduction, because of the ult and the knockback, which allows her to get the jump on a lot of other marksmen, as you'll see later on in this fight. But I like the War Boots for the attack speed, I like the Claves for the crit damage or the crit rate, and then right after that I like to follow it up with 6 Sling or Sting for the crit damage to kind of combo crit rate and crit damage. You can also go with something like Rank Breaker or Spear of Longinus, depending on how many enemies you have on the team with a lot of armor. I think Rank Breaker overall is better. It allows her to roam more with the extra movement speed, and it complements the Flicker talent a little bit better than the Spear of Longinus would. But I really do enjoy the hero here, and I'm just waiting to tap my first skill. I should have got that kill on Arthur, but I didn't want to go back into the bush with such low health. I think if the Arduin had gone into the bush first, I would have followed, but I didn't want to dive in by myself and potentially get killed by Arthur. But there's a reason why she's one of the top picks in EU and Southeast Asia for marksmen. She's very, very high poke damage, very high range. And the other thing that I haven't really showed off for you guys yet, but you'll see in a few minutes, is her tower damage and her ability to push objectives. She has wild tower damage, and she can actually pick off towers from outside of their range using her first skill exclusively. So even if you can't push the lane because of the minions, or because you don't have any of your own, or you don't have anyone to tower dive for you, you can still step up and chip in a few hits on a tower. You can take down towers that are low health quite easily, and it just makes her an extremely potent hero all around, kind of in any situation. The other thing you want to keep in mind is her potential in the lane with a teammate, because her passive effect boosts her attack damage when she's in the lane with another hero. So she's better off doing the duo lane, the abyssal lane, which I was in here with the top lane, than doing something like jungle or solo bot lane. It really suits her more to be paired up with somebody else, preferably with someone who's mobile, who also has poke, like a Lubu or something like that, because it allows them to really harass the enemy team and either force them into bad trades or force them way back into the tower. And then TEL'ANNAS can take advantage of that because she can chip away at the tower without actually putting herself under the tower's range and in the harm of the enemy team, who can CC her or pull her back further deeper into their territory. So she's a really dangerous enemy to play against. But I think the biggest counter that I found to her is just enemies that get up close and personal, and of course for any marksman it's burst damage. You'll see later on that I do take a couple of deaths from heavy damage from their enemy assassin, and that's just unavoidable. My positioning, of course, is a really big reason why I get caught up in these situations and playing too aggressively, but as the case is for any marksman, you can't really end up expecting to trade in those situations, as I'm going to do now. I missed my ult and expect to survive. That is pretty much the only time you can use TEL'ANNAS in that situation, and I love this tower dive by Zephys, by the way. Really savage work while I was watching my death timer. But the only way you can use TEL'ANNAS to escape from those situations, if you are playing her really aggressively, is to save your ult. And I have done this a few times in a few games and caught some enemies off guard, especially warriors who try to dive me. They dive me, I take a couple steps back, they keep coming, I hit them with the ult, and then I book it. Of course, if you're getting double teamed, or if they have movement speed, skills and abilities to chase you back down like Arthur or like Xanis, you're probably going to die anyways. But just keep that in mind, keep that skill in your back pocket if you have it, like I do here on both. I actually got 3 with that stun. I got Zill, Slims, and Arthur. So it pierces, it penetrates, it knocks back, and it stuns. It's a beautiful skill if you can line it up well, and if you make yourself a hot target, you're gonna find a lot more enemies who are willing to get in the line of fire for TEL'ANNAS to arrow. I'm really excited to get her skin as well, so let me know how far you guys are along in your progress to get the Love Sworn skin, because I think it's awesome and it looks really great. I probably wouldn't stack Muramasa and Rank Breaker as far as armor piercing abilities go, but she has inferior attack speed to Yorn, so you're better off stacking attack damage items that will just increase her raw potential, more along the lines of someone like Fennec or Slims, where she does fewer hits but they hit for much more. In that situation, Muramasa is potentially better because there's more damage in each hit, so the percentage based reduction will have more effectiveness, but I don't think stacking them both is an ideal situation for her, and I haven't really played a match yet where it has mattered. But I think that you're going to be really happy with TEL'ANNAS if you like marksmans at all. She's basically Yorn on steroids as far as I'm concerned. I don't think I would pick Yorn over her in almost any situation. There's very few team comps where I think he outclasses her, except for very specific situations. And I think it shows in a lot of the clips, despite the fact that this Yorn ended up getting MVP over me, that TEL'ANNAS just has a lot more overall flexibility in her kit to allow her to do different things. And this targeting here with this Zill was just ridiculous. The other thing you want to keep in mind is when you're going in with TEL'ANNAS, you can push the towers, you can attack the enemy heroes, but you want to keep the range at the kind of edge of the circle, and that's one thing that makes her kind of trickier to use, because you have to remember both ranges on both her regular basic attack and also her buffed range, because a lot of times I found myself not casting my first skill late game, but then getting too close to the enemy, expecting my range to be there when it wasn't, just pressing the attack button and then actually dragging myself further than I should have and putting myself in a bad position, and then getting kind of in trouble. Here I almost died to the enemy Valheim, and I actually probably would have if he had been more aggressive, but he backed up, and then I take it here. Also, again, no ult, only have the flicker. The movement speed boots probably would have saved me in that situation, but let me know what you guys think of that switch between the talents. I'm still deciding on which one to choose. Overall, I'm super happy with this champ. I think she's fantastic. and I'm going to be playing her for a long time with lots of highlights. So if you enjoy this stuff, hit me up on Twitch. You're going to see lots of dominating MVP performances. Subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want to support me. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.